So we're going to be talking all about relationships and when that spark starts to die. Firstly, thank you very much for joining us. If you could just introduce yourself to our listeners to start us off, that would be really good.
Sure thing. My name is Alix Fox, and I'm a sex and relationships educator, a broadcaster, and a journalist. I'm very proud to be an ambassador for young people's sexual health charity Brooke, and I'm also a co-host of BBC Radio 1's new sex comedy show Unexpected Fluid.
So tell us a bit more about when that sort of spark dies in a relationship and what point that starts to happen or people feel that point is happening.
Well, I have grand news for citizens of Kent, actually, Daniel, because a recent survey of over 2,000 Brits that was conducted by adult toy firm PLSR, who've got the buzz about all things that buzz in the boudoir, found that the average time it took for couples to lose that spark, that passion to dwindle and fizzle rather than sizzle in a relationship. Overall in the UK, that was 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks and 1 day. In Kent, however, that spark was lasting longer, 4 years, 10 months, 3 weeks and 5 days before people started to feel like things were being a little bit more tired than they were wired.
So tell us a bit more about that sort of passion and when that is sort of being lost as well.
I think it is important to remember that lust and libido do go up and down throughout the duration of a relationship. I always say they're a bit like a sailboat. It's very, very normal that while they're on the ocean, they're going to bob up and down a bit. All sorts of things affect relationships. You might have children. I mean, that can make it a lot harder to find time for sex. There's the stress of jobs. People's bodies change. So it is very normal for lust to fluctuate during a relationship. It's only if that sailboat really sinks, when it hits the deep depths, the bottom of the ocean, that's a red flag. I think when couples stop putting in effort for each other, then that's problematic. And when they do find time to be intimate, if one or both of them aren't enjoying it, then that's also something that really needs attention. The good news, however, is that often the effort that it does take to rejuvenate relationships again is nowhere near as big as people imagine that it might be. Very small changes to your day-to-day habits can have a really massive influence on improving your relationship and helping you both feel more sexually, more emotionally, more physically satisfied with one another.
And I understand that sometimes instead of putting that effort into the relationship, people are turning to the internet, watching Netflix, that kind of thing.
They are indeed. A lot of people are very, very worried about the impact of technology on their love interest. In fact, the survey by PLSR found that overall in the UK, 35% of couples admitted that they did prefer watching Netflix together rather than being intimate. And in Kent, that was 46%. So there's a heck of a lot of people in Kent who would rather turn the box on than get their rocks off. Now, I understand that. We are busy human beings. When you've come in from a long day and you're absolutely exhausted, the temptation just to slouch on the couch and kick back in front of the TV rather than having sex and all that exhausting humping and pumping, I can understand why people opt for watching a show rather than putting on a show in the bedroom. Plus, you have to bear in mind the streaming services like Netflix are completely designed to gain and maintain your attention. Think about it. I get alerts on my phone telling me when there's a tempting new series that I might want to watch. If I am watching an episode of a show I like, then the next episode will be automatically queued up and there's a little countdown telling me how many seconds it's going to take before it next plays and tempting me to carry on watching rather than turning off and having a conversation with my partner. And even the way that we pay for streaming services like Netflix, that monthly fee can set up a psychological mindset where you feel like you have to watch a certain amount every month to get your money's worth. So technologies like that are set up to command and demand your attention, and as a result, they can wreak havoc upon relationships. However, technology isn't always a bad thing for lovers. There are ways in which it can be very positive for two people together. I was interested to see that the survey revealed that 54% of people said that they thought pleasure toys, so gadgets and gizmos, vibrators, things like that, could be integrated into times of intimacy. I think if you'd asked that same question to people a couple of decades ago, when there was a lot more stigma and taboo surrounding the use of toys, then fewer people would have said that they were up for experimenting and exploring with those things. I find that very, very encouraging because toys really can bring a new dimension to lovemaking.
Is there anything else you'd like to cover or get over to our listeners that we've not yet covered?
One thing I feel very passionate about is the fact that I think there's far too much emphasis on penetrative sex over pleasure. I think we really, really focus on sex, meaning that a penis has to go into a hole in our current society. We even refer to foreplay. We talk about such beautiful experiences as massage or oral sex or mutual masturbation that can make people feel absolutely fantastic. We relegate those to mere appetizers before what we consider the main meal of full sex. I really hate the word foreplay. I think it just doesn't do justice to those beautiful shared forms of pleasure that you can have. And I'd really like to encourage more people just to take penetration off the menu for a night and see whether you might have a more satisfying experience by doing things like playing with toys together or showing each other how you bring yourselves to orgasm. Another reason that I'm not a big fan of this emphasis we place on sex having to mean penetration is that is not always the most enjoyable act for women. The majority of women do require direct clitoral stimulation in order to orgasm. And it's also not always great for guys either. It places immense pressure on them to get an erection, and if they're struggling with that and they can't go through with penetrative sex, that can have an enormous effect on how they feel about their manhood, about their masculinity. If we stop thinking about sex as just penetration, I really think it would be better for all of us as human beings and as lovers.
So if our listeners would like to find out more, where can they do that?
Sure. If you want to read a load more tips from me and all the results of the survey, then just head on over to plsrx.com. Just remember that after you have perused the internet, log off, switch off, and try and get turned on with your lover instead.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us here at Art Radio Transmission today.
It was lovely to have a nurture and a chatter with you, and I hope everyone has a deeply pleasurable day.